Wow, we've finished part one and part two. We have sorted by album, we have sorted by subject, and we have sorted by layout. Now we're going to talk about how we store the photos that we have sorted. There are a few ways depending on how many photos you have and how fast you want to get to making layouts with them. In this video, I show two of the three methods that I use when I'm going to be a while before I get to the photos. Layout number one, dolphins, layout number two, dolphins, and layout number three of dolphins. So when I have my layouts now down to this level of detail, I am actually ready to put them into not the folio. I'm ready to put these into page protectors. So here we go. Brand new pack of top loading pages. 16. Let's see how many we're going to use. Okay, I have just opened up a brand new pack of top loading page protectors. And I'm going to pretend that this is kind of like opening an album. I'm going to say that this is going to be the cover page. And so I'm not going to worry about putting the pages in exact order. I can do that later. But I just decided that these this was a 2-page layout. These photos here and these two photos right here are going to make a 2-page layout. So guess what? And I actually think I want this one on this side. So what I'm going to do is put these pictures in the album. And we have that set of pages. I decided that these are going to go in these two albums. Just like this. I may switch things around. I very often do. But they have this home in this album. And now these will be a third layout. And that I can put these pages right into an album cover set, but what I usually do is wait for a little while. I'll keep them together, and my favorite way to keep this together is in a simple pocket sleeve. So this is the Creative Memories simple pocket sleeve. It's open on two sides, and I have found this to be, for this stage of my photo sorting, I have found this to be the best way of sorting my photos, of holding on to my photos when there are not very many of them. This is 16, a single pack of refill pages. I could also, if I wanted to, but I'm starting off kind of with SeaWorld, is set aside pages for Boma, put them in the pages. I can do the sea lions, and I'll do the others. The ones I placed in here, the Buckies and the Hydro Surge Show, they'll go right in there as well. So that's an abbreviated look. All of these are going to eventually get into the pocket sleeves, but there's one more step I wanted to share with you. So before I go into my next phase, I'm going to just take these big subjects right now and put them into this portfolio, accordion folder, whatever you call it, for it right now. So each big subject is going to get a pocket in this. So I can come back and sort later. So that's another important factor. You don't have to sort all of these in one sitting. I've got them in the big categories. This is a very nice little way to go to a crop and sort photos. I've gone to crops, I've seen people sitting in the crop sorting their photos. Okay, they're making good use of their time there to be productive in their scrapbooking. And I've done it myself. I've just grabbed one of these when I had one full and took it to the crop um, to sort from the big layer, the big stack down to the layout level. Okay, so what I've done now is put them in the big categories in my accordion folder here. And I could take this to a crop and sort them down to the layout level, just like we just showed you. But the next step is, and I set aside some photos just for this. I went in and got my base pages. Now, some people have a whole album full of base pages. And if I didn't restrict myself, I would be one of those people too. But I try not to have more than a few. And here are some of them. And so as I'm looking at my pages, and I know that one of them is going to be for that, I look and I say, will some of these photos do well on these base pages that I've made? Now I'm planning to do a video on base pages because I love them. Okay, now this one captures my attention. I made this at a retreat as a class, and I think this one right here can maybe get a home. But this was the one right here that I had in mind because of those hammerhead sharks and those dolphins. So I had this one in mind. And I forgot about that one, and I frankly believe this one could be used here too. So here are three of my base pages that I think would be suitable. And actually this one and that one and that one. And I quickly went through and pulled a few out that I believe I may have some photos from SeaWorld that could go on here. This was the very first one that came to mind. And let's take a look. This, I believe, was a virtual crop layout. And, oh, so this is a single page. Okay. That was a virtual crop. And here is SeaWorld. I thought I had this in here. So I have made this. These are going to go right there. Ta-da! So this has gone from base page to ready to go into my album. So this base page is about to become the first page of the album. Now, how cool is this? Yes, I have to trim them down a little bit, and I may put a few more decorations on there, but Those will go. Yep. And there we have it. The first base page almost accounted for. Okay, this was made for a virtual crop. And I made it because I knew I had photos that might actually work on here. So let's see if any of these, I like my hammerhead. I think the hammerhead right there can work. Okay, I'm going to put these two photos. I'm going to get the hammerhead here onto this base page one way or another. Um, and the beauty is the colors are fine. I don't see any color clashes. And then I'll make a companion page with these. So I'm pulling out my set of pages here. Opening up. And see, when I'm looking through for, say, a virtual crop or have a sketch and I want to find some photos, this is how I do it. So I want these on the left-hand side because it's basically the title. And then these go in here. Now, I really do track. I actually track my base pages. It helps me to not make too many of them because I could make 100 of them and then I'd be sitting around going, oh my goodness, well, how am I going to use them? And because I have kept track, I keep the number low. I still have far more than I wish I had, but this really keeps the number down to around 10. I try to keep no more than 10. I'm above that right now, but I just used 2. So I think that it brings me down to at least 10. Okay, so what I will also do is I'm going to continue as I go through with the rest of the photos and look to see. I'm really sure I can use that one. Which of my photos might go on which of these 4 sets of base pages? Because if they do work on here, I'm going to be so happy. And that just lets me free up space to make even more base pages. But finally, before I wrap this up, there's one more thing I want to talk about, and that is when you have some special photos and you just know what materials, what paper, what embellishments that you want to use for that set of photos. And these flamingos had this simple page kit written all over it. This came out as a special during 2025, and I am so grateful that I got one. And at first I went, okay, it's cute, and I know someday I'll use it, but at the time I got it, I didn't know. I mean, look at this. This is just perfect. This was my summer. Flamingos, summer vacation, relaxing, and this simple page kit. So I'm going to have so much fun. I'm going to put my flamingos. Now, what I'm going to do, this is a kit. So let's talk about my method of tracking my photos once they're gone in their album. So we're going to pretend that this is an album, and we're going to pretend that the flamingos have been placed in the album, and we're going to give them a home right here. We're gonna let the flamingos live right here for a moment. Okay, and you know what else? Just for the sake of having 2 pages, we're gonna give these photos a home right here, right beside the flamingos. Okay, so we have our photos in our album and the page we want them to be. So I have a system where when I'm ready and I say, oh, I want to make these flamingos, I'm going to pull my flamingos out of this album, and I need a system to tell me when I'm finished with the layout where to put it back in the album. And my system has 3 parts. I hope you're getting something out of this series, and if so, please leave a comment. And also, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and watch the next video because that's the secret sauce.